Now, as Ryan, Trenton, and Sean grab your attention towards the world of sports, food, and entertainment, and away from the things that are probably more important, we apologize for nothing and anything that may be spoken, learned, or forgotten today. This is the Real Tree Shaker Show.
Welcome to the Real Tree Shaker Show. I am Ryan.
And I am Trenton.
And I'm Sean. We thank you for joining us today as we go through the MLB trade deadline, MVP talks, and our newest top 5 cereals. So, guys, welcome. And how we doing?
Doing well.
Good.
Hanging in there.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. So, interesting day. I didn't think it was as busy as it was supposed to be. Maybe should have been.
Not at all. Yeah.
A few big names moved. A lot of teams made deals, but mostly wild card teams. Other than the Rangers, most first place teams stood kind of
right.
Nothing major. Maybe just fill a hole, fill a void due to an injury or something.
Right.
But all right.
Right.
Let's just jump right into this.
Sure.
Ryan, let's go with how about the teams that you thought did the best in the trade deadline?
Well, I mean, I can't argue. I like what Baltimore did. I like them getting Flaherty, fill in some bullpen help too as well. They got to hold on to that lead, so I know they want to fill some holes up. You know what? I honestly really like what the Angels did too. I thought they shored up. I mean, I'm not going back to just today, but what they did a few days ago, getting Lucas Giolito and and Lopez. I thought that was a really great move for them. Getting CJ Cron and Grichuk from the Rockies. I thought they made some decent moves and shored up a lot of holes. They're trying to show Shohei that they're for real and want to contend. But like you said, it was a lot of just like wild card teams or hopeful playoff teams that made most moves. I mean, Texas definitely shored up their starting pitching, getting Scherzer and Montgomery. I think that gives. I mean, just thinking they still had DeGrom, they would be. I'd watch out for them for sure. But yeah, man, I just thought a lot of teams did some solid moves. Nothing really stuck out where I was like, man, they did awesome. Braves in 21 when they did the moves that they made were just like when they did those, I was like, man, the Braves are in it to win it. I don't know that a team did that where I was like, man, they're all in this year, like maybe the Rangers, because I think they are, because they're financially held up to be in it to win it, so
yeah,
they kind of have to be, with what they're paying all their players, they're kind of like, well, we got to do something. So, but yeah, just some surprise moves. Like I thought the Padres were kind of out of it, and then they go and get Rich Hill and Choi from Pirates, and then got Barlow from KC. So I was like, man, I guess the Padres are going to contend, I mean, they're hovering around that playoff spot, but I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know. I was surprised at them, so, but, like I said, I just don't think anyone really, really stood out for me. I thought some teams made some good moves. So some of those teams, I don't mind the Braves moves that they did. I think they shored up their bullpen. Yeah, they got the infielder spot. I get it, Nicky, but I mean, how often is he going to play? I guess it's just good to have that depth. I guess I really liked Hearn from their the left-handed power guy, but I think they get a better guy in Brad Hand. If they want a left-hander, I thought they got a better guy.
Yeah,
Hearn's the younger guy and has a future, but Hand is the better pitcher for sure. So I definitely, and the Braves didn't really give up much of their much of their stock. So, I felt the Rangers had to give up, Sagasi and Acuna to get these guys. I mean, that's a lot. That was their future in a year or two. So I thought that was quite a bit to give up for this year for the Rangers. And, I don't really think the Braves had to give up a whole lot of their future for that. So, but
because they pretty much already have their future set.
sure,
And,
sure. And that's true, but it's always good to have those young guys. I love that, the farm for the Braves is just really good right now, so they got a lot of options to go for the future.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the talent on the field, is still young and locked up, and then 4 or 5 years.
I think surprisingly, for Verlander to go back to the Stros was
Yeah,
not necessarily like a shock. I'm kind of shocked the Yankees didn't do anything, just because they're not necessarily out of it. They're in a tough division this year. But I mean, just getting a middle relief guy, like, I don't know, it's kind of surprising because they're a hot mess. Maybe that's part of it too.
They needed to get another bat to help Judge.
Yeah, because they're
because it was pretty obvious how much he was of that offense. When he was missing.
And I mean,
they are in last place.
Yeah, with a winning record. So,
Right.
So I mean, I'm kind of surprised they didn't. I mean, I'm surprised that they stayed so quiet. I mean, then again, maybe they were trying to get the Ohtani deal or something going before they took him off the market, or maybe a Snell and Soto kind of thing from the Padres before they decided to be buyers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not too sure. I'll tell you who I'm really surprised at is the Indians. Like, I know their record's not great, but they were what, a game and a half back or something from the Twins, maybe.
Yeah, they're a game back.
Game
back.
And they sold. And I mean, I'm not saying they sold a lot of their major pieces, but like they definitely sold some helpful ones, and they got some things in return. But I mean, Josh Bell, one of those things, was that second time to be traded in 2 years. So
yeah.
I think the Marlins did a decent job too, being a wild card contender. Thought they did all right.
Yeah, I do too. They got power.
They got power. They got a squad right now that just kind of, they're scrappy. They're kind of like they're kind of that scrappy squad of the year. So
yeah,
they get their pitching.
What's his name? Alcantara, Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy Alcantara. If he gets back on track,
he hasn't been like he was last year, but and that's still crazy. Yeah,
last few starts he has. So even tonight, Robinson blew it tonight. The Phils came back, so that might give them a little momentum, which I do not like.
At all.
I mean, Dodgers, kind of surprised that they didn't do too much. I just don't move. They
did try.
Yeah.
They tried.
They got Rosario and Kike.
Yeah, that's kind of like. I think those are smart moves for him. I believe. Again, I don't think there just wasn't a whole lot out there this year. There's a lot of contenders. A lot of people still in that little bubble between can they get there, can they not? I mean, I was saying that. I mean, if you're 2 or 3 games out, or even 5 games out, like, why throw in the towel? I mean, a good win streak and someone have a bad week, and you're right in there.
Sure. So, Seattle too was one of those teams.
Yeah, kind of.
Seattle, I thought traded a lot, and I was like, they're kind of, I don't know what they're trying to do by saying, they have a winning record. They've actually been playing pretty good lately too.
Yeah,
so.
And again, they're in a competitive division there with the Angels. Also, we got the Rangers and Stros playing well. So, I'm sure some of these moves were simply just for financial stuff, probably for being able to re-sign these people for the next year, or if you do, you're going to have to pay $1 and stuff like that. So I understand that, but again, I'm just kind of surprised that it was a little quiet. But then again, I just don't think there was a whole. But
Yeah, the AL
I agree.
wild card. What, 5 teams, all within 6 games right now.
Yeah, it's all close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, in Cleveland, 53 and 54. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just unbelievable.
But
But yeah, I mean, it's. Go ahead, T.
I was just gonna say, I'd say the surprise would be like the most shocking would be the Verlander deal, just because I think just overall the Mets. I mean, you just look at that. That's gonna be the shocker of the year. I mean, they brought in all these players to compete, and I mean, couldn't even get halfway through the season, and they're all gone, all of them.
Yeah.
And that's just why does it not work in New York?
I do not know. Do not know. I mean, I don't think it's Buck. I mean, he's a good manager. I mean, he's proven to be. I don't know.
I think he's gone too. Speaking of, he's probably gone too.
Oh, I
don't think he's in their long-term plans.
Yeah, there's no way.
No, not. Remember, I said that the other day that Showalter might as well just say, "Fire me now if you trade Verlander and Max." You know, I mean, why not just get rid of Pete Alonso? You think he wants to stay now, Lindor? I think
probably not.
I think it's going to get ugly.
Well, again, like you said too, like when they're telling Max they're planning for 25, 26 or whatever it is. Like, well, what did you bring us? What's all this you just spent? Like, you just made a point to someone? Well, point was you can't buy a team. Like,
right.
Like
the owner's willing to spend, but he doesn't seem to get the right guys.
Yeah.
Scherzer was down. I mean, Scherzer was pitching like a number 3 starter this year for the most part. Over 4 ERA, he hasn't been that effective. I mean, I don't know. It's something about it. They just don't get that performance out of their players a lot.
I think they were just trying to emulate the Yankees of back in the day when Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner was running the show.
Sure.
So,
but they had a good farm, but they home grew a lot of those guys. If you're talking about the '90s Yankees, those were all guys in their system. I mean, they were homegrown.
You just can't. It's
hard. We're going out and buying a lot.
You just can't do that. That system hasn't worked in years. I mean, the Padres started a couple years ago. It didn't work. The Dodgers somewhat did it. During COVID, maybe a little before, but I mean, yes, you can make a splash at the deadline and help yourself get to the playoffs and stuff like that. But you need pieces around it, and I don't know. I just don't. I mean, the Mets had these other pieces there, but sometimes it just doesn't work, and it didn't.
Right.
So kind of surprising.
I agree.
I mean, they get good players, but they're just not getting the right players. And Verlander and Scherzer are still good, but these guys are towards the end of their career. Now, if this is 6-7 years ago, sure, then Mets would be dangerous easily. But I don't know. It's just weird. Like all New York teams, any sport,
right?
It's just been the same thing.
Giants included, or what?
Well, if you exclude last year, one playoff appearance in 10 years, and it wasn't very well because it was the infamous boat picture playoff game,
True.
So, but I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe New York's just lost its luster to where maybe they're not getting the key players that are stars. And they're just getting the guy that will say, "Hey, I'll take that cash. You know what? Why not? I mean, sure, you're going to pay me that." So,
True.
I don't know. So, what do you notice that all these trades, right? Even for the big, for Scherzer, how many players was it? How many? What players?
I'm trying to.
Or was it
got Scherzer for?
I don't know. In baseball, it's just weird. You don't get as much draft capital. Like in NBA, if you're trading for even a semi-big star, you're getting I don't know, 4 first-rounders and a couple players.
Oh, sure.
And here, it's just all these teams that acquired, 4 now for the playoff push. And, they gave up their prospects, but most of them are prospects. They're not ready to play.
You never know what those guys will pan out to be.
Exactly.
So.
I mean,
yeah. They basically trade stars for 10 cents on the dollar. In other words, pretty much. So, literally too, based on their salary.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of that is with those guys in particular, especially when the Mets paid them the way they did. I mean, that's tricky situations. So because that's money. I mean, you're trading these older guys, like you said, veterans, beast, but they're at the tail end of their career. You're also not too sure what you're getting. Same thing as the prospects. I mean, yes,
right.
You're getting what you've seen in the past and what they are still capable of doing, but same time, like injuries, the years on their arms and stuff like that, and you're also seeing a lot of money to take a risk on versus prospects that you're just saying, okay, well, this can build something. But I do agree, like this system, this quote unquote Yankee system, whatever, has not worked in some time. The Mets jumped on board and did it this year. I mean, they had some guys come up, with McNeil and Alonso and some of these other guys that like really mesh well. They're good contact hitters, but overall, offensively, I mean, you look at some of those numbers, that's just ridiculous. Lindor batting like 212. I mean, I think Alonso's somewhere around that area too and stuff. And so that's just inconsistent hitting. And no matter if you have runners in scoring position or not, you can hit all the home runs you want. You're just not going to get anywhere.
Right.
So,
yeah.
All right.
I agree.
Okay, there's always this big rush, towards the deadline. Why do teams wait till the deadline?
I don't know.
I mean, it's like,
don't know.
We're what, 110 games into the season? It's like, oh yeah, by now I think we've got our team figured out. Let's go get this done. So I think maybe that's why you don't see the big superstar trades. Maybe, one for 6 players or a superstar for 2 good players, I think maybe that's, so.
Also, I think, too, the extra wild card spots, you have a lot more people involved in the race. And so
sure.
the superstars or whichever may be, or some of those guys are having good years on those questionable teams. Like maybe it's like, if someone comes a calling, it's like, well, what are you going to give us in return? It's like, well, maybe that's just really not worth it. And we're also just a few games out. So I think it also takes, it's not as easy when you're like, oh, we're 7 games out. Yeah, we're throwing in the towel. It's like now you can actually kind of go, well, 7 games. Like, is this package worth it? And things like that. But yeah, I mean, kind of crazy. Like it's crazy how some of these guys, like, I mean, I like with the Marlins. Jake Berger, his batting average isn't there, but man, he's been on fire, and that's a good power hitter for that team. And again, they got some scrappy moves. So
they always play the Braves tough too.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. Yeah,
all right. So Ryan, would you go? You're a GM of any team, short term versus long term?
If I was the GM,
yeah.
Man, I like building the team up from the ground up, farm system, develop some guys. I definitely don't want to put together some superstar team and pay millions. I like homegrown guys that we scout and draft and sign when they're 17, 18 and grow them up in our system. And, I'm much prefer that over some short-term, one-hit wonder type of year, for sure.
Yeah. Much agree. I understand the pressure on, I guess I don't understand, but I see where the pressure is and where the win now kind of situations are. And yes, if you're again, I believe if you're in one of those positions to get a wild card spot, I mean, it shows over the last few years of baseball. If you catch fire, no matter how good a
Right.
team is, I don't care what the record is, if they catch fire in that right time of baseball, especially the playoff run. Like, I don't want anything to do with them. I don't care. I don't care who their starters are. I don't. It's if they're meshing well, much like you saw the Phillies last year. Like it works. The Braves did it a couple
Right.
years ago. Stros did it a couple years back. Sox did it, back in what 04 or something like that. So it's. I think if you have a chance, yes, maybe make some moves and see if you can sneak into a spot or contend. Try to contend. Don't just throw in the towel. But I wouldn't throw away pieces where I cannot do something for the next few years. I just would not do that.
Yeah.
Because again, you're going to be put into a position where do you have the payroll? Do you have can you fill out a team? Just all those things. And then if you go for 1 year trying to contend at one point, you're going to go from there contending that year. If it doesn't work out, then you don't contend for years down the road. And so, yeah, I think starting in your own little system and trying to build some players up is the way to go. It really is, because you can always put in some veteran free agency or free agents in there to mold your players, show them the right way, show them little tricks and things like that. Hopefully that meshes well too with them to be able to grow. So yeah, I'm all against buying those teams. No, thank you.
No, I'm with you guys. I prefer the long term, the team building from the ground up. It's awesome. I think, and then when it comes to fruition and like a la the Braves, makes it even better. But yeah, I agree. You got to get a couple key veterans, because have some people that have been there, done that. So
yeah.
All right.
I think a lot of teams followed what the Astros did, when they sucked for many years and got all those, they got all those high draft picks and they were able to turn that into something, and so a lot of teams thought that was a formula for a little bit. So, I think you saw a lot of teams maybe try to model that, the Royals did it too,
Yep,
the Royals sucked for so many years.
The Giants came.
People don't remember they're not that far removed from actually winning a World Series,
Yep.
So, I think it can happen like that, but I don't know that it works that well anymore. You just don't see teams as completely sucking to come back and get those draft picks anymore, but a lot of those draft picks are taking years to develop now. The Astros got very lucky with who they picked.
Yes.
Those guys worked out great. Altuve, Bergman, all those guys just were just great for them. And so I don't know that you'll see that formula again anymore. I mean, it's possible it'll come back, but I definitely would not agree to use that method either. Just suck to get the draft picks. So
yeah, like that kind of wave that they did, because they were bad for a while, even though they were they made a little playoff run there, but with the tail end of the Biggio years and stuff like that, like they were bad. But you're right.
Yeah,
they got those players. They traded away a couple people, especially I think Bergman was part of one of those trades that got some of those draft picks. So, but yeah, I don't know if you can do that this day and age. I mean, it's something that's going to take a while to develop, and I mean, there's people moving all over the place now with the trades, and some people just straight up get cut and or just don't pan out, but they pan out under a different, better, or maybe not a better system, but a system that works for them. And
right,
to see an entire overhaul, I don't know, but like some of these teams don't really have much of a choice, so they're gonna have to try it, especially the big market teams. So we'll see.
Right.
We will see.
All right.
I was reading an article when they were talking about the winners and losers, and I found it funny that one of the winners was Mets fans. I didn't get that, but they were like, I was like, damn, like
more misery.
I know. I was like, well, at least they know. Well, they were saying at least we know the honest truth about what they're doing with our team now. that they're waiting for a couple years to do anything. So.
But is that true? I mean, have they finally?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Come on.
I don't know.
There's no
Yeah.
telling, man.
Yeah.
There's no after this debacle. Like if that's what they're gonna do, I think that's just getting them off the schneid or trying to get them off the schneid. You know, they're gonna be on that thing for a couple of years. Bombing,
Right. I
bombing,
think more to come.
Yep.
Right. Oh, I was gonna say I did like what the Diamondbacks did. I thought they had a decent one. You know, they got their closer.
Mhm.
They added Tommy Pham in the outfield. They also got Peterson, who's got a little bit of pop from the A's. So I thought they did a decent job too of kind of shoring up their team, and they've got a pretty good young, exciting team too.
I think they're like kind of Atlanta 2.0 with the way they're doing things.
Yeah, I agree.
Gallon's a stud.
Yeah.
Walker, Corbin Carroll. The kid in center field, McCarthy. That kid.
Yeah, Jake McCarthy.
Run. And
he can still.
Catella's coming back to form.
Yeah, Catella Marte. So some good youth with veterans really combined. I know they've probably been kind of down their luck a little bit because they were in first for so long, and it seems like it's really fading away with the Dodgers and Giants passing them. So
they're a young team though.
But
that's part of it. That's part of it. It's like they're gonna go through those highs and lows, and they just gotta figure out how to kind of come together and keep on rolling. The Giants just simply have great leadership and experience out there, and they're much like the A's. They don't have a giant payroll and stuff like that, but they get it done, and they got the right players. So Dodgers can do what they want.
Yeah. Giants are a good team.
So.
Play good team ball. I was surprised a team like the Reds didn't make a move. I thought they would get some pitchers. They desperately need pitchers. Yeah. They have the good young hitting. Mm-hmm. They just don't really have the pitchers, Yeah. So I was really surprised they didn't try to really make a strong move with their farm system being as strong as it is too, to get a pitcher. Very surprised at that. I thought that they would.
They're thinking long term.
Yeah. Which I get, I do get that, but I mean they're in first place right now.
I bet they were team.
You're in it.
I bet their team's asking a little too much, like for certain guys or something. Or even at that, I bet like maybe a Flaherty or maybe a some of these like a Rodriguez or somebody where it's like they tried to make it happen and it just didn't work out. So
right.
Yep. All right,
Rodriguez's
guys.
move is one I wish the Braves could have made too.
Yeah,
I would have loved to see him with the Braves,
especially since he used his trade veto on the Dodgers.
Yeah, I know. I would have loved to have his arm in our system. It would have been nice.
No, that and he's all anyone who's fuck the Dodgers
against the Dodgers, sure. Sure, I like him even more.
We'll see who steps up. We'll see who steps up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And, like we know, it's all going to come down to the last day of the season anyways.
It really is.
So, yep.
Hopefully playing well going into that. That is for sure.
Right.
So let's move along, guys, to our top 5 cereals.
Yes.
I honestly wrote a bunch down. And then once I got past like 7 or 8, it's like, what's the point? Because I already wrote down my favorite ones because they're the first ones that popped in my head.
It's a wide set.
Yeah, same with me.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. T, get us rolling on your top 5.
Oh, man, here we go. Let's see, number 5, I'm going with Cocoa Puffs. Now, I will say that they don't taste the same like they used to, but I don't know what it is.
That's true for a lot of cereals now. That's true for a lot of them.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's
a lot of them.
Maybe not as chocolatey or something like that, but like it doesn't. Even though it doesn't matter. Like I can be walking down that aisle and be going, oh, which one? And it's like I already know where I'm going. I'm going to reach over here and I'm going to snag a box and toss it in the basket and act like I didn't do it. So, yeah, definitely. Let's see.
Just a muscle spaz. That's all.
Oh yeah, it's like what happened there? I don't know. I've tried it with my nieces before, and they already know. They were like, "Hey, Uncle T, this, and this." I'm like, "Y'all don't like that? No." Number 4, Fruity Pebbles. I think I would. I don't. It's one of those like it's maybe not always the go-to, but like to have a second option. It's a pretty nice second option up there on your fridge. Where you're like, I should eat healthy today, and you look over and you're like, or I could throw a few of those in with it and be just fine. So, yeah.
That's all.
Number 3, I got Lucky Charms. There's no gold under the rainbow. They're simply just good marshmallows and things that go good with milk. And yeah, I just a classic. Just I can remember. A lot of these, I can remember, being little and eating on this stuff, and you're watching cartoons and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
and,
laying on the floor,
laying
on your belly.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
eating all the marshmallows out of the bag and leaving just the cereal there, and like, yeah, everyone being very upset.
You did that to your sister, didn't you?
Yeah. Number 2. Reese's peanut butter cups or peanut butter balls or whichever they are. I mean, there's not much you can really say about it outside. It's really good. It always hits the spot.
Man. My kids dig that cereal a lot too.
Yeah,
like
mine too.
Like, it's almost what Cocoa Puffs should be without the peanut butter, but man, I don't know. It just hits the spot. Number 1. I think it's an easy one though. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I feel like it's one of the better tasting ones, or one of the best tasting ones. I think the cereal holds up in the milk. I feel like when you eat one bowl, you want another one right afterwards. It's hard to stop.
Sure.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you get the best thing, and that's the cereal milk at the bottom, which is with all of these, with most cereals. But you get the cereal milk at the bottom, and it's like that's the last of it. And tough to talk me down from that. So
I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask if you drank the milk.
Oh yeah.
All the ones you have leave like a flavored milk.
Yeah, that's a question. Are you a cereal milk drinker?
Definitely so. Definitely so.
I think we all are. Probably I am.
Yeah. Couple little toe pokes, aka honorable mentions.
Right. The toes.
Honey Bunches of Oats. I think it's a good change of pace when you don't eat all the sugar ones and stuff like that. You just I don't know, little different kind of cereal, but still like you're somewhat healthy, but at the same time like you still get some sweetness out of it, so it's not completely boring. Like that's the thing with some of these cereals, like they're boring.
You're not too grown up eating that cereal.
You're not eating grape nuts, you know what I mean? Like you're not
shredded wheat.
Yeah. Hey now, speaking of. Little mini shredded wheats, man. You let those things soak in that milk a little bit. Those things are pretty darn good. If you don't, they're a little rough without the liquid.
Right.
That is for sure.
Right.
Honeycomb used to be so good. Now, the last few times I've had it, it's just it just tastes like air, and they sprayed like honey. Like air, Febreze or something on it. Like I don't know. There's just nothing there. Just nothing there. And then Tricks, of course. And then Count Chocula or Frankenberries or was it Boo Berry or whatever it was. Like, oh man, those things used to be so good. And it's hard to find them now. And then too, when you get them, I don't think people get it. But man, those used to be fire. But
if you go to Sam's, you can get all 3 boxes for $8.
Wow!
They have them in a 3-pack for $7.98 at Sam's.
Well,
so
I might have to go
It's all three of them.
Might have to go talk to Sam one of these days and see if I can get some of those. So,
yeah, not bad.
Much like Sean was saying, there's a list. He started writing down it.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah.
And it's good cereals too. You write down good cereals.
And I mean, I left off several out there that I mean, there's going to be a lot of arguments for. I get that. I tried to narrow it down and be walking down a cereal aisle, and this is what I'm going to get, and that's because if not, you're going to spend all day in that thing. At least I will.
Yeah.
And come out with way too much cereal. So yeah.
I agree.
So yeah,
that's the beauty of the kids. They don't waste that. So
yes,
kids are not.
All right.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
about
that's
being an adult. You can eat it as well.
It is. 'Tis a wonderful late night snack.
Yes,
all right. Lovely. I love that. That's a great list. All right, Ryan.
Yes.
Fire away.
Okay, so I mean, cereal, like y'all were saying too. There's probably like 15 to 20 that I can eat at any given time that I'm okay with. That I'm good with. So it's hard to come up with just a top 5. So I'm actually going to start with some of my toe pokes. So
toe poke Chicos.
yes. So first one I'll mention Cookie Crisp.
Oh,
old school Cookie Crisp, same way as honeycomb. It does not taste the same, but man, Cookie Crisp was good.
Used to be so good.
I remember when I used to get that, I was like, man, when can you eat like cereal for breakfast? I mean, cookies for breakfast.
Exactly.
I would just munch. I'd munch the hell out of those things. I had honeycomb too, but like I said, the old honeycomb, not the new stuff that's out. Doesn't taste the same. Kind of a classic, Fruit Loops. It's just reliable. I just feel like the Fruit Loops, just like, what it's gonna taste like. It may not be anyone's top, but it's probably on a lot of people's top 10, top 5 lists. I'm sure it's just reliable. Life cereal. I love Life, Cinnamon Life. I can eat the hell out of that. And Captain Crunch. I know a lot of people will be upset with me because it basically ruins the hell out of the top of your mouth when you eat it.
It does.
Because you're like, but it's so good. Love eating it. I also had Cinnamon Toast Crunch because I didn't put it in my top 5, but it's probably 6. So just for that. So top 5 I'll go. So number 5, Raisin Bran Crunch. So kind of a weird one, I know. Not regular Raisin Bran. I like the crunch.
Where's the boo?
I like the honey club. I know, right? Hey, come on. Boo. I like the honey nut clusters in it. Do y'all hate raisins that much or no? Do y'all not like them?
Raisin Bran.
Like
I like Raisin Bran.
Okay.
Yeah, I like.
What about Raisin Bran Crunch?
I've never tried it. I would like to though. Honestly, I would.
Yeah.
And no, I don't hate raisins.
Underrated to me and so good. So love it.
Yeah, I usually will pick a box of that up with my Special K. Great nuts.
So that's a nice segue into number 4.
Oh God.
The Special K with strawberries.
with the
I
yogurt.
Can't help it, man. No, the strawberries. The freeze dried. The strawberries that are freeze dried.
Yep.
Have you ever had it? The Special K.
That's good.
I don't know why, dude. I like that stuff, man.
Do you add sugar?
I don't know why.
Or anything?
No. I ate it just how it is. It's sweet. It's actually sweet.
Yeah.
I challenge you guys to just buy a box of it and try it just once. If not, I'll mail you a box and you can try it.
There we go.
It's good. I promise. I promise.
A purchase in this house. The blueberry, the French vanilla. I think there is.
See, I don't like that. The blueberry I can eat, but strawberry takes the cake every time, man. I don't know.
I just don't like buying that because you only get like 3 good bowls out of it. So it's like,
hey, that's a lot of boxes of cereal now, though. They've gotten a lot smaller. So
Well, it's just like everything. That's just like
Yeah, true. Yeah. Number 3, I have Captain Crunch Peanut Butter Crunch. So I do like the Reese's cereal. I really like it, but I kind of went classic here just because I've always loved the Peanut Butter Crunch from Captain Crunch because I love peanut butter, and it's just like, man, it's hard to find nowadays. You just don't see it that much anymore. And God, if I can get my hands on a box of that, I'll eat the whole thing, whole box, one sitting. I'll pull an ice cube and grab like a huge ass Tupperware bowl and pour the whole box in there. So
that definitely was one of my
that's the one I could do with.
I remember that.
Yeah,
used to do
yeah,
that.
yeah. I did.
Mm-hmm.
I get laughed at for my large bowls for cereal. I don't use these little ass little 2-cup bowls or anything. I use a massive bowl for cereal.
I mean, I will.
I like a lot.
I'll go ice cube on you. I do not care. I will bust. I will get the.
I know that's what I say. Yeah, for sure.
Like I will.
For
sure.
Number 2
is when you do that, the rest of that cereal gets so damn soggy. But yes, I'm all about it.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Number 2, Fruity Pebbles. Just always loved it. Same thing with this. I could eat probably a whole box in one sitting if I was allowed to. So
no doubt that.
Just the flavor of it, it's so good, and just man, I don't know. I can just I can taste it now, and yeah, something about it. So I did want to give a quick break because we are doing this live, but I don't know if y'all saw the Astros have a no-hitter going. So
yeah, I'm wondering why they're all zoomed in on it, but then I looked up at the top, keep looking down, and I see over here on my TV. So
yeah. So I'll try to get through.
Game.
Yeah. Okay, so number 1 for me was easy for me. I knew it right off the top of my head. Golden Grams. Always been one of my faves. I love Golden Grams. Man, it's just, nostalgia for me. I think of it every time. I think of being a kid, Saturday mornings, watching cartoons all day. Brings back a lot of those memories. So that's probably why it's my number 1. It still holds up today. Still tastes great. I don't know if y'all seen, they have like the retro box, and it's basically that retro flavor. It tastes so much sweeter.
Yeah.
It tastes sweet.
The last time I tried them, I was thrown off because, again, like most cereals don't taste like they used to. But
yeah.
With that one, I didn't think that would change, and when I was like, whoa. And so, yes, I'd like to definitely go back and try that again. So, because that definitely was one of my
try it. Look.
All right, so for me, with some honorable mentions, they've all been mentioned a lot, but I'll go Honey Nut Cheerios.
With bananas, yes.
The old school, slice some bananas, throw it in there. Frosted Mini Wheats, also.
Yep.
I like the Honey Bunches of Oats, another classic. Life cereal is great. I mean, I don't want to read all 20, but I mean,
you can't go wrong with any of them.
Go for it. Yeah, I know, right?
But all right, so at 5, I have Captain Crunch peanut butter. I don't get the whole myth behind
it.
I will go with Corn Pops.
Okay.
Yep.
Good one.
I think is one of those that's kind of stayed kind of true to its original form. I don't know. It's just good. It's simple. And that's definitely a 2-bowl eat. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, at number 3, I will have Apple Cinnamon Cheerios.
Huh.
Those.
Wow.
Yeah. That I
don't even see that anymore.
They sell it up here, so it's definitely a must to get. And that's one of those that is one of the minimal ones that will get eaten by other people in this house. So I usually get to get most of that box. So with number 2, I have Frosted Flakes.
Okay.
I've always
Good classic.
always loved Frosted Flakes with banana. Throw some strawberries in there, or just all by itself.
Yes.
And the milk afterwards is great with it.
Great.
Nope.
Absolutely. And my number one is Golden Crisp.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Not Honey
Is
Smack.
that the one with the frog?
No, that's Honey Smacks.
No, that's Honey Smack.
That's what it was.
Golden Crisp has the bear.
Oh wow, you don't see that around at all, man.
Wow,
Get it up here.
Do y'all still have it?
Yeah, maybe I just consume enough of it that it doesn't make it down that south.
Right.
Interesting. It's a good one. I mean, it's just a good smooth eat. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just good and simple. So,
Good stuff.
I haven't had that.
It's been a while, but a long time since I've had those.
Yeah,
long
so-
I
time.
mean,
Long time.
Yeah.
I've had
It's
snacks and I've had pops too, and like man, like wow, I haven't had those Bear Crisps, man. Wow,
yeah, man, keep it
So-
old school because I'm an
Of
old fool.
course.
that is
Hey, so I have two questions for you guys about cereal. A couple of them. Do y'all ever buy the bagged ones,
yes,
like the Malto Meal or anything?
yes.
Do they taste a little less than the box?
I think the HEB version of Crunch and Berries tastes exactly the same. Almost the cinnamon toast crunch kind of stuff as well. Whatever they call them, cinnamon crunch or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The Cocoa Puffs actually taste a little bit better than the actual Cocoa Puffs. But yeah, they I think some of them are either way. Like I don't think Lucky Charms kind of style is as good. I've tried a few other ones like the Rice Crisp or the Cocoa Crisp kind of thing, like the Rice Krispie kind of ones.
Yeah.
Like no, the fruity ones I haven't tried. I'm sure they're pretty close, but
Yeah.
and you know what's a disappointment now is Apple Jacks. Like
Oh yeah.
those used to be really good. I wonder if that's anywhere close to the cinnamon apple Cheerios.
No, not even close.
No.
I won't touch Apple Jacks.
Yeah, those things. I used to
Yeah,
love those things.
I haven't had them in a long time, so I know they've fallen off. So
Remember
what I've
Mr.
heard.
T cereal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the
Remember
full real
E.T.
my
cereal?
E.T., the Batman,
You
the
remember
Batman
the ET
cereal.
cereal?
Oh,
Batman
yeah,
cereal?
Batman.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters
The
cereal.
Simpsons.
Turtle cereal.
Simpsons used to have a cereal way back in the
Yeah.
day too.
Yeah. So tell me this. I know y'all are milk drinkers. Do you leave like a third of the cereal in the milk and drink it?
No.
I do that a lot.
No, I get every
I do that
last.
a lot.
I get all the fucking flakes
See?
up, and then
Well, I'm
Yeah.
I'm weird, and then I'll pour another bowl and pour more milk in it. I'm
no.
just
See,
weird like that.
okay. So I get like I'll eat all the cereal, leave a little
those
milk,
are-
and then go get
Give
more
me that cereal to it.
and then top it,
Okay.
more milk, and then
Yes.
finish up the flakes, and then all milk.
Okay.
So
Okay. I was
No
curious
straw.
about
Please don't have any mistakes on or misunderstanding of what I'm saying here. When these top 5 and honorable mentions, these are all two bowl cereals.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Like you better get the big
Yeah, I
box
agree.
because the big guy's gonna eat some of it. So
Yeah.
this is how you
I agree. I'm the same way. Same way.
I don't have them little rascals
So.
running around like y'all do. So
Yeah.
I just gotta fend
my
for
kids are
myself
cereal
and-
freaks.
in a hungry roommate every once in a while.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. No cereal goes unwasted here.
yes,
So-
Yeah. Same with me.
same here.
Same with me.
No matter what
Definitely.
kind of good, it will not go wasted.
My-
We just
my
simply
food
run out of
costs.
milk. That's the only
That
thing.
stuff. That's so funny.
Yes.
All right. Well, excellent. All right. So we'll have to brainstorm. We've had some good top 5 so far. I'm
Yes,
sure we
very
make
good.
people hungry after hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, I was
We
gonna
have
say,
done all
but,
food.
like, I'm gonna go eat me a bowl of cereal after this.
Yep. All right. So not much time left, guys. But let's quickly, like we said, no big superstars, real big names that were moved. So based on how the season is going now, with the top performers going, give me your top 3 MVP candidates and 2 honorable mentions for each league. Ryan, go first.
Okay, so I'll do NL first just because I love the guy. Ronald Acuna, number 1 for sure. No doubt about it.
Hard to argue.
Monster year, home run, steals. Guy gets on base no matter what. B-War is like number 1 in the league. Dude's just knocking the hell out of the ball this year. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with the next decade. So, actually, number 2, I would probably put Freddie Freeman. Dude is just, man, another monster year for him. He's batting probably the best he's ever. I've seen him bat in a long time since he was, obviously with the Braves. Same with him. I'm not going to get too deep in the stats of it, but great year for him. 3, I actually have Corbin Carroll. I just feel like he's carrying the D-backs, man. I do. I feel like
it's great.
Dude's just been a monster, this year. Been very good. Would put him up there with anybody, So kind of my other 2, I would say Mookie Betts is probably one guy I've been looking at as far as like a, kind of an outside guy. I don't really see him winning it, but he's a guy I could see, sneaking in there, getting some votes for it. And then my other guy is Christian Yelich, actually. He's actually quietly having a really good year, Nobody really knows about it. So, but yeah, he's looking like himself from 2018. So he's been hot this last month too. So that's kind of put him up there, I would say. But that's kind of my top 5 there. In the AL, again, a gimme, Shohei, number 1.
Maybe have
what
started.
else can you say?
Maybe I should have just started this. Okay, who is your 2 through 6 MVP candidates?
Right? Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? Actually, number 2, I have Kyle Tucker for the Stros, man. Dude has had a monster July.
Mm-hmm.
He just had a monster month. He's coming on too. He's leading that team. He's been the offensive force for that team with Alvarez out, with Jordan out. So carried their offense for sure.
And Altuve's
been out too. Yeah. So
yeah, let's not mention that fantasy.
Yeah. Right. Number 3, Lewis Robert for the White Sox.
Okay.
Just monster power year. I know it's the White Sox. He's not going to Andre Dawson it and win it. There's no chance he passes Ohtani, but guy's got to be recognized for having a great year.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 4, I actually have Corey Seager for the Rangers, man. Dude is just killing it this year, man. If he could stay healthy, he could probably be 2, honestly.
He has a lot of stats that are up there. Sorry. But
no, it's fun.
He doesn't have like enough games played or at bats to qualify yet. But I think by the end
that's sad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always think, man, I'm like, I wish he, could have enough to qualify because dude would. And then my 5th guy is Jose Ramirez from the Indians.
Of course.
Guardians, sorry.
Oh, fine.
I think he's come on to. I think he'll have an awesome August, awesome September. He's going to finish just like he does every year. 25-plus home runs, 100-plus runs, 20-plus steals. He's a guarantee for that. So, solid guy. So, those are my guys.
Did you say your number 2 was?
I had Tucker, Kyle Tucker.
That's right.
Yeah, Tucker for the Stros. So,
all right, T, fire away.
NL. I'm gonna pretty much make this quick. It's kind of like you said, Ronald Acuna. He's just having a year. It's if Otani wasn't in the game kind of thing, I think there'd be a lot more talk about Acuna and what he's doing, batting lead off, being able to make the whole entire engine kind of run, and then be able to hit for power, stolen bases. It's just impressive. Hopefully he stays healthy and can make the team go. And man, the Cubs are killing the Reds right now. It's nuts.
Oh yeah,
nuts.
Well, Mets are winning. You think they're motivated?
I'm sure a little bit.
Here's to 2025.
They're also playing the Nationals,
right?
So it's like we'll see. Number 2, I'll get up for Luis Arraez. Like, I mean, he's not going to bat 400. That's just tough to do this day and age. But again, he makes the Marlin teams a run. I mean, it's just like he gets on base. Next thing you know, he's on second if he's not already there.
Right.
Good table setter.
A table setter, no doubt, and just he can go. He gets out there. You got to keep your eye on him. An infield hit can turn into a run scored quickly, and again, that just gets everything going. And I mean, there's a lot of nod to him for sure, especially on what they're doing right now. Number 3, I'd give it to Matt Olson. I think if it wasn't for Acuna, I think he'd be up there in a lot more people's mouths than is right now. I've heard some people mention it and say that, but yeah, he's been a great replacement, I guess you'd say, for the Braves. Or he's just come in there and he's just done his thing. It's not Freddie Freeman, never will be, but he's definitely done his thing.
Well, I don't think I don't think Olson's a replacement. I think he's just the next great first baseman in a Braves uniform.
I agree.
Well, because you went from Crime Dog. Congratulations to him on his Hall of Fame induction for sure.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, from Crime Dog to Freddie, now to Olson. I mean, if you got first base covered, that makes your other 3 infielders look so much better than that.
Sure, I mean, replacement is not the right word, but just just to kind of to replace what was lost, I guess you'd say. Maybe that's
there you go. All right, right on.
A better way of putting it. Again, Corbin Carroll, give it up for him. That's my number 4. Rookie, or is he rookie? Is that correct? Or is he 2 years?
Yes,
he is.
He's a rookie.
He played in like 30 games last year.
Okay.
So
he didn't get enough MLB service time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I think he definitely deserves a nod too for the performance he's been putting on. Very consistent. I want to.
Who are you thinking?
I'm gonna say Bellinger, even though because he had a really awesome July. I think he also helped get the Cubs back into something. The Cubs they started off good, but I mean they kind of went through their low, and I don't know. I mean the team itself has come around, but you want to take one player and see kind of who off that team is making it kind of who's the nucleus right now, making it all go. And I'd say it's him. I wouldn't say Stroman,
right?
But Stroman on that pitching side, but he's also struggled of late. So, but I don't know. Bellinger hit a bomb again tonight, so I don't know. I would consider him, at least or something. I would consider him up there. So,
right.
AL, very similar to Ron. I mean, let's not talk much about it, but the show Hey show is something else. I mean, once in a lifetime player. He does from both sides. Hats off to him. He did get robbed by Michael Harris though over the yesterday. So
Otani still reached base 4 times.
Yeah. At least he didn't get one. He hasn't gotten one on us yet. I'm sure he will tomorrow. So no need to.
Well, Spencer got him out twice today.
No need to go too far with that. Number 2. I mean, until he got hurt, Corey Seager. I mean, he was up there doing his things. I mean, if he can, it stinks he can't stay on the field, but like he was definitely a huge piece of that offense for the Rangers. And as soon as he got dinged up and missed some time, it showed. The rest of the guys have stepped up and kind of kept things going, even through some other injuries. But he was definitely huge for him. And then number 3, Kyle Tucker. Ryan said most of it right there about consistency. Huge July. Basically kept the Astros in it on offensively while the other guys were down. AL, like my number 4 and 5. I want to go with some of the Oriole players. No one's giving them a lot of credit. They're just saying that they're young and that they're playing well. It's just some of these guys, they're timely hitting, and you got a switch hitter getting up there and doing this thing. It's like, man, it's pretty nuts, man, for young squad, man.
Yeah.
And
Santander, he's had a good year too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just hats off. Hats off for sure.
Yeah, they're a good squad. I think I like the Orioles for a while.
And then I'll give a shout out to Jarrett Lau that I received in a fantasy trade from someone. I won't mention any names, but not again. The Rays started off on fire. They looked like they weren't going to lose a game. They went through some struggles. Again, of late, I feel like through the struggles, he's been someone that's just been able to keep them kind of going. He steals bases too. He's got some pretty decent stats going on. And MVP is not always about like the stats and numbers. It's about the what they've done for their team, at certain times. So
sure.
So just
very good.
Josh Lowe does a good job of that.
So.
Yeah, very good point. Because it's not the best player; it's the most valuable.
Most valuable to
right.
team.
Valuable.
He's simply showed up. That whole team stepped up this year, but like even again, he's been pretty consistent for him. So yeah, those are my names, man.
No one ever talks about him. That's a really good candidate. I didn't even think about that myself, and I have a couple of candidates from that team. But
well, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Lovely. So, all right. All set, T?
Ooh. The Royals.
Okay.
The Royals tied it up.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's Zach Gallen. I need him to have a good game.
I'm liking that.
Yeah. All right. So, I will, number 1, Acuna. Like I said, I should have just phrased this question like, in another multiverse.
2 through 5.
The MVP.
Right.
Just, it's so awesome to see this kid healthy again. I mean, you could tell last year he didn't trust the knee, so he couldn't push off and hit. So he was just getting under the ball, and he's just having so much fun, and it's just ridiculous. 328, 23 home runs, 51 stolen bases. First player in MLB history, 20 home runs, 50 stolen bases before August. Unbelievable. I mean, he could not, please don't jinx me, but he could not play the rest of the year. And when he would still finish top 5 MVP easily.
He has a chance at 40-80.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a shot at it.
That's sick.
It probably won't, but he has a shot.
Yeah.
He's a 40-80 guy. That to me is just unbelievable.
Didn't the guy in our fantasy league, wasn't he who had the number 1 pick? I believe he was on auto draft. So he got Acuna by default. So automatically eliminated. So at number 2, I'm going to go with Matt Olson. I think what he's done, unbelievable. 36
Homer.
Hey, what can I say?
No, I agree.
36 home runs, 90 RBIs. I mean, smooth at first base. I mean, who plays first base if Olson's not there? I mean, we put Darno there for a little bit.
Lopez.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We got him now.
Kid Nicky. Yep. For number 3, I'll go Freddie Freeman. Like Ryan said and T said, he's just been smooth. He's solid, available every day. He's just, 21 home runs, 71 RBIs. Quiet in the power department, but he's never really been a 40 home run kind of guy anyways.
He's batting 329, so
he went up.
I'll take that all day, every day.
Yeah, I definitely probably should have had him higher up on my list, but yes.
On base over 400 as always.
Yeah,
gets on base. If he doesn't hit, he walks.
Yeah, 410. Highest of the MVP candidates on base percentage at 410.
For sure.
At 4, awesome. At 4, I will throw in. I like Mookie. I think Mookie's having a really good year. 27 home runs. So average. You would think Mookie is a 300 hitter, but he rarely ever hits 300. But yet, runs, hits, RBIs. He's always up there, and just
and he's always around 280. So
and just solid. Mookie is like. I think my favorite player in the Major League Base in MLB that I love to hate. Like, I love watching him play, but I hate that he's on the Dodgers.
Yeah. Me too.
Oh, what did I see? The Bears are beating the Bengals 20-5. Did I see that correct?
I believe,
Okay.
Jesus.
Oh, wait. Football has not started yet. Okay.
Safety and field goal.
All right. So then after that, I would go Austin Riley. Yeah, I'm being a homer, but you know what? Again, who would you put at third base besides Nicky Lopez to take over? But Austin has really been the last 2 Julys. I think it's 21 home runs for Austin in July.
Yeah.
So when the weather warms up, so does Austin Riley. So, and then I will throw the kid Corbin Carroll in. I agree with both of you guys. I think he's had a phenomenal year. Almost kind of like if you look at Michael Harris's rookie year last year. I think. Sorry, I just had to. I've been messing around with these new buttons. I like it.
No, you're good.
An honorable mention, another 2 real quick. I like the Yelich, and Juan Soto's had a really good year.
He has. He hasn't hit that well for average. I'm a little disappointed in that, But I would probably almost take out. I would probably have to put Olsen in there too. I think too. Looking at his numbers, I probably should analyze a little bit more. But
every Braves game, and the guy is just unbelievable. Even Fred McGriff was today when he was in the booth was like, I love watching Matt Olsen, especially because a power hitter like that. You bring in a lefty, sometimes that diminishes what they do, but not Olsen. You don't have to. But all right, to the AL, that guy named Ohtani, number 1.
Yeah.
You guys have already said everything. But never mind. I was going to talk about his pitching, but anyways.
It hasn't been as good this year, but still.
Yeah, I wonder why they skipped his start, because he was supposed to start tonight against Spencer, and he didn't.
Yeah.
But number 2 for me, I'm going with Adolis Garcia from the Texas Rangers.
It's a good
he's just one of those guys, like, if the Braves could have done something to get him, that's the player I think I would have wanted. Average is a little low.
Sure.
Average is a little low. But so is on base.
He does strike out a lot.
Yeah, but it's kind of like Trenton's man Berger, Mr. Jake Berger.
Sure.
But Adolis.
Berger's the new Rob Deere.
Yeah. Oh, good one. Yeah.
I'm batting 220, but I hit 40 home runs.
I'm on the Kyle Tucker for my number 3.
Yeah.
That kid's. I love watching the guys who don't hit with batting gloves. Like, in between every pitch, he just picks a handful up and just tosses off just a little dust.
Cool.
But at 4 for me, I got Bo Bichette.
Okay.
I don't think you've had Guerrero Jr. having the big year that was kind of thinking he was going to progress into, but Bo leads AL in hits. And he's just not as good as his dad, but he's on the way. And then I throw in for my last, I guess, top 5. I put in Lewis Robert, but I have a question for you guys about that later on. And Seager would have been in there, but just not enough at bats and playing time to get there. So,
that's fair.
Yep. Okay. So with the MVP, when should you take a guy out of consideration for MVP? At what point in the season? Are we counting playoffs, making the playoffs that should be included in MVP, or a certain part of the year, like once the calendar to September?
No, the season.
Yeah, season's over.
The 100 after game 162.
Yeah. I mean, the playoffs are a whole different. I mean, it's almost a whole different season. I mean, it's short lived, but it's hard to tell.
That's why you have an MVP for the World Series and a AL or NLCS MVP and all that too. So
once the season's over, I think that's where it stops.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah. Still
would that mean that MVP is just stats driven then?
Baseball is a team sport. You need everybody doing it. You could score 100 runs a game, but your pitcher gives up 101. So what are you supposed to do? You can't help that.
I guess that would just justify how bad the team would be without him. So
pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's exactly how.
Olsen wouldn't have the RBIs he has if Acuna wasn't getting on base. If Acuna and Albies weren't getting on base.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's relied on a lot of them.
Yeah,
he had the same numbers last year in Oakland, and look at him. He's not really looked at. He wasn't looked at last year, so I don't really buy that. That I get it. It's most valuable. I think they should change the MVP to something else. Because honestly, I think stats play a huge role in it. I mean, it's such a team game. Y'all are saying, you're bringing up the Orioles and the Rays, and they don't have the best stats, but they're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
there's a lot of teams like that we didn't mention that were first place teams that they don't have the MVP.
The Giants.
Someone up for that. Yeah, about the Giants. There you go. Who's up for them? They just play good team baseball. So it's a team sport.
Yep.
And that's an individual award. So I don't know. That's always been my opinion on it. So
fair opinion too.
I think baseball is the only sport where someone from a last place team could win an MVP.
Exactly.
Football, it'll never happen. NBA, it'll never happen. Hockey, I mean, I'm not too versed in that, but I would say I'm sure it's never happened either. It would never happen there either. So
unless it was Wayne Gretzky or Lemieux or Sidney
some
Crosby
great,
Yeah. Bobby Orr.
So
it's the only old.
How many last place finishes have they had though? They don't.
Right.
So.
I mean, the race is over for it.
Sure.
Sure. To watch what these guys have done, I think it's been a fantastic year of baseball.
This part of the year is about to start too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm so glad the pitch clock. I think it's really helped the pace of play.
Yeah.
And I think
attendance is up. I think they said like 9%.
Yeah.
For the year.
TV ratings are up too. Except in Oakland, but the only time their attendance goes up when it's a reverse boycott. So
I
don't know what that's about.
True.
All right, well, guys, let's wrap tonight. I think we nailed it on the trade deadline. I am hungry now from our top 5.
Yeah.
Yes, same here.
The MVP has been determined. We're just going to root for 2 through 6 in the race.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody.